Hello, Carolyn.
Amanda, what is going on? It is so good to see your smiling face.
It is nice to see you too. I'm in a new location. Exciting. So I get a little bit different lighting, and obviously you can all guess where I am, like where's Waldo. But we are on episode 15 and we have our intro to do.
Amazing. I can't believe it. Okay, I'm ready. 1 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3.
Unordinary
conversations
with Amanda
and with Carolyn.
I like how I did the hand thing. We did the hand thing.
I know we have to do this.
We do a little dance, little hop and skip. But yeah, so we're glad to be here with you on week 15, y'all. And it's great to talk about what's going on. So I want to ask you, Carolyn, how has your week been?
My week has been good. And in fact, I'm going to just be transparent. And it's been actually, we had a couple weeks where we had to not record and we just talked via text. And so we're back on camera and back live now. And I will tell you that, and this makes me laugh, I had to go back, or not had to, but I took my dog on a walk and I listened to episode 13 and I laughed. I'm sorry, but I think we're really funny and informative. And I went back and listened, not to be critical, but I listened because I felt like I needed our advice. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no.
So when I listen, I don't listen like it's me talking. I listen like, oh my God, these are the people who I want to learn from. So I pretend I'm a different person, right?
I think that's good to take it from that perspective to say, what do I have to learn?
And it was good. I was just like, oh my God, there were some times where I thought maybe, oh my God, I'm talking too much or I'm too exuberant or whatever. But at the end of the day, I got what I needed to get. And that was like this spark back that I needed, and a giggle, and just you were talking about we had a new ingredient, which now I can't remember.
Oh, I think I'm remembering something with the transcript said Singapore or
Singapore. Exactly. And it made me laugh and it lightened my day. And I guess it reminded me that what we're doing, how important it is. And I hope that if we can get something out of it, I sure hope everybody else can, right?
Yeah.
So it was cool. So the past couple of weeks have been interesting. That little story aside, every day, as you know, I live to do live my best with confidence, power, strength, and especially humor, which is extremely important to me, not to mask a situation, but humor is really important. And I think you have learned by now, I prefer the tornado approach to life. I get as much as I can get in, for better or worse. I'll deal with the outcome later and look for the opportunity in the outcome. I did some volunteering today, which I had shared with you, for one of the boards that I sit on. And I was there for almost 3.5 hours. And it reminded me, it's been a while since I've actually been physically on site somewhere. And it felt really good to do that. And I was really glad. I met interesting new people, and it was just a great experience. So again, I want to encourage people to take the time to volunteer, even if it's for 30 minutes. Whatever you can give, you will receive back, I promise. Work's been really good. My job, in selling promotional items, it's been just crazy and passionate and busy and lots of new leads. And like everybody, some personal challenges which attempt to throw me off, but I refuse to be thrown off. So toddle along, right? Back on my game. And I believe I'm entering a time of growth as I reflect back, and in a different direction, which you are aware of, that I wrote a children's book that I feel is for children and for adults. And I feel like sometimes adults need to learn lessons from children's books, right? Like the simpler the message, the easier it is to execute.
Absolutely.
And so the plan's coming together quickly, and I'm doing it. And I want to share that I'm really scared, and I'm really nervous, and I have moments of second guessing myself. And I have a very good friend who's been on this journey with me since the beginning. And I was with her last evening, and and she reminded me, she's like, you can't be, or not, you can't be scared. Of course you can. But she's like, you're already in the thick of this, and this is already happening. And you've already been making this happen for like close to 2 years now. And I'm in, and it's all now. Capital NOW, right? No, like I can change some of the moves around the plan, but absolutely I'm in to make this plan happen. And I believe that it's go time. I'm choosing to believe it's launch time. And I believe that with my growth in this experience, we all grow. And if anyone's feeling anxious about a decision, I would say look really deep inside yourself to know that it's right and believe in yourself. And I'm telling you, I'm struggling with it. I really am, but I'm doing it. And what could be the worst thing? The worst thing that can come out of it is humor. And I'm ready to laugh at myself. And that is my lesson. There you go. Bam.
Love it. Thank you for sharing. I know it's great to hear. I know you are real. So talking about your experiences with your work, but also the coming together of your book, which is very exciting for adults and children, and really coming into that, okay, it's here, it's now, and really having that mindset to keep going forward and putting that out there. And that does take a lot of mindset work, right? And I
Exactly.
now I'm an author. I'm officially an author mindset coach, and totally get what you're talking about with just really overcoming and saying, this is coming, right? This is my work, and it's going to support other people and be out there for a reason and a purpose. And so that's really great. And I'm excited for you and what you're going to be launching soon ahead.
Thank you. You're a big part of it.
Yeah, well, it's exciting. I think that, we both are writers. We like to reflect. We're go-getters. So we have a lot in common, even though we're complementary, right? We're different in many ways, but we're very similar in a lot of things that we do. So I appreciate
well, I'm interested to hear how your past couple of weeks have been. And I know somehow they're going to all tie together. They're all going to be part of, it's going to be ingredients, right? We have our ingredients.
I know, we have new ingredients, Brussels sprouts, Singaporean, whatever.
Right.
But, we'll throw them all into the pot. One day I'll try it. I'm like, ooh. But I think my couple weeks have been mindset and learning how to be in peace no matter what's happening. One big thing that happened that you know about is my grandfather, my pappy. He was a father to me. He passed away. And that was really hard. I was the last one to see him in the hospital the day before he passed. And it was interesting because I gave him a kiss on the forehead and I said, I love you. And, and he was really tired that night. And I just knew I guess the next day I was a little surprised, but, it was really hard for him the last couple months. But I read a journal entry that I wrote actually in 2015. And I would say that I read this to him, and I actually read it at his funeral. All of us cousins did. But what's interesting is I thanked him for everything of who he was. And I cried when I reread it because near the end I had said, I love to kiss your forehead and tell you I love you. Oh. And that was the last thing that I did with him, was say, I love you, and gave him a kiss on the head, before I left. And so it was just one of those things where it was amazing. And just being able to share, just a lot that, he meant a lot and to a lot of people. And he was just such a good man. And he was one of the most safe people I had. I mean, as he got older, he was just really in pain. So I know his responses were not always him, but he was safe. So I really honor him, even on here, that he was just my pappy, and just a father figure in my life. But I had a lot of peace. It was just really a nice, even the ceremony, just hearing all of us send him off. And also for the Navy, they just did that. He was in the Navy and he was so proud of that. And so it was just a great time. It's been a lot, obviously, of grieving in different ways. I just know that I've been grieving. And I would say the last week was really interesting, because not just with my grandpa, but like also knowing the promises that are ahead for me and digging in when I'm in still a state of transition. And I think one of my friends recently said it well. She's like, you already launched near this rocket, and all of a sudden everybody's like, yay. And then you're there and you're just soaring. And it's different, right? And so I know that that's been different. And for me, I had this moment last week where I was just not myself and anxious, Carolyn, more than normal. And I realized, like, in that, I was at my university, I was really having a hard time just with everything. I'm like, there's so much going on. And I realized, obviously, I've talked a lot about my faith, but I realized that I was starting to go into, it was about my identity, which I think hits everybody in different ways, of my, like, I got out of peace. I started to have double-mindedness and started to doubt and have unbelief about what was going on. And anytime we sway from being firm and confident and staying grounded is when there can be an unsettling. And that could look differently in each person's life. But I realized that I was starting to come undone in terms of like staying firm, right? And rooted in what I know is coming. And so that to me was a big root that I've been dealing with for my life in different areas. And I was like, oh my gosh, when I stay firm in who I am and when I stay out of that doubt and unbelief, I actually, is a cycle. And so it was really a big moment for me. And I actually had talked to a friend that evening and it was like night and day. She's like, wow, I can tell your peace is back, because I realized the root of it and it went into my mindset. So I would say since last week, that was completely a shift for me. But it was a lot on mindset, a lot on continuing to stay firm, and a lot of just going deeper in my identity and my I am statements. And like if there's pain points, being able to go deeper. So I know that was a lot, but that was kind of what has gone on in the last week, 2 weeks for me. And I think the really positive thing is I feel supported by people, and there's people that are saying, that are coming in and supporting me in ways that I never could imagine. Like even just like you, like just with like cards and this, just people supporting me emotionally, or people who are thoughtful, or people that have been like, how are you doing? And I think in this launch, when it feels like a little lonely, that's been amazing, that people are like rooting for me and I know it's going to be okay, even when it feels like still uncertain. So I'm definitely in this journey and still going, but that is my update. Just a lot of mindset, reflection, and processing grief.
I think one of the most important things that you shared with us, Amanda, and that we all have to embrace is that realizing our own responsibility. Like I wrote down those words, you said that you owned, it was your responsibility. And you're by owning it, I believe that then you become responsible for, I'm going to use some of the words that you used, you become responsible for your mindset, you become responsible for your own peace, your safety, right? And your belief that other people are going to keep you safe, and your pappy's going to keep you safe regardless if he's here or in heaven or however people believe, right? You use the word proud. I think it's important to embrace proud, right? It's all of these words come from down here, right? Yeah. And they are their roots that are just like growing out of us. And I support you in your adventure to stay firm, which I feel like, of course, we crossed over again because I have that feeling as well, right? And I and your friends, and I think just in general, we all cheer each other on. And I think that it's important to seek out the audience of people that are going to cheer you on. But I'm going to go back to what you said. In the base of everything, it's realizing it's our responsibility, our individual responsibility, and you're going to light it up, and I'm going to be a tornado, and we're going to set the world on fire because we own ourselves and our emotions and know where the responsibility lies, and welcomes others to have an influence, right? For better, or again, I use the words for better or worse, but you get to decide. We have choices. We decide who comes in and who doesn't come in. So I think you're right. It's a lot, everything that you shared, but it's awesome. And I think it's all about launching and soaring and being responsible. If I had to sum it up, launch, soar, be responsible.
Yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate that. And it is. And I know we've really talked a lot about catching up, really how our week has been with our mindset and everything else. And I'm curious, do you want to go into just asking a question to each other, or what would you
Yeah,
think?
but I'm gonna let you ask first.
Okay. All
I know
right.
we usually don't do that, do we?
Well,
Usually
I
I
guess
go,
we do.
oh my God, I'm so ready. I have the question, but I actually don't right now.
Okay. Well, here we go. I'll do a fun one. So I don't think I've asked this, but if I did, then I could do a new one.
Okay.
Okay, because you'll remember, I think. But okay, if you could be any animal, what would you be and why?
Oh,
Did
no,
I ask
I
you
don't
that
know.
before?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Well, I have a little bit of an obsession from far away. Like I would not get near an owl, but I think owls are super cool, figuratively speaking. So if I could sit on a, I guess, perch or however you would call the branch that they sit on, right? If I could choose to do that and observe
Mhm.
and just observe. I like that. I like to observe and I like to learn. And I think that it would settle me down. Like that might be my counter, or how do you say, like my complete opposite. I'm probably more of a fierce tiger, right? And I think it would be cool to just sit and observe
Okay.
and know what it feels like to be like that. I get glimpses of it, right? I work on
Yeah.
it. Again, like, right, we all have like different aspects of that we want to be or experience. And so we always work on it. But I'm gonna go with an owl. And I have actually, it's interesting, I have an owl painting on my wall that I bought while I was going through a big transition. And it's, if I flip the computer, it's gonna get all messed up. So I'm not
Yeah,
gonna do
that's
that.
okay.
But the note on it reads, I'm gonna go out of camera for 1 second.
Could be maybe your quote. You never know.
Exactly. And actually I have that one prepared.
Oh, okay. Look at that.
No, but as if it was always meant to be. And it's two owls sitting like perched next to each other.
Can you
And
say it
it's
again?
almost like me and you, right? It's like as if it was always meant to be. And I feel that's what I receive, is that things that are meant to be. And it doesn't mean you don't get other stuff, right? But it resonated with me, and it's two pictures of an owls, and it's super colorful, and it's meant to be. So,
As if it was meant to be. Is that what it was?
as if it was meant to be.
Okay, great.
Right.
So,
And I feel like I like to live my day like that, as if it was meant to be. This is today, and we'll learn, and go on to the next day. Right.
well, there you
All right.
are.
So my question for you is, you said that your pappy was really influential and a father figure. What would you say your biggest takeaway from him? And I know that there's many, and I know this is not an easy question,
Yeah.
but if you have an overall like aura of what he brought to you, what is that? And how do you plan to continue without him physically here? How do you continue to bring that to other people?
Yeah, I think my grandpa, he was a baker, and
Oh, okay.
he loved family. It was really important to him. So I think one thing that I carry is I love family. He loved get-togethers. He loved people visiting. He didn't always walk in his last years, but he loved walking. He loved being outside. And I think so. I would say my grandpa carried a lot of peace. He was someone who enjoyed family. And my grandpa he showed me, I even shared this in my journal. Every time I had a different graduation, and maybe he didn't really graduate from different schools, but he was so proud of us, and he would always cry. And I think he showed me that it's okay for men to cry. He didn't always do it often, but every time we had a graduation or a ceremony or something really went well, he would be so proud that he would cry. And so I love that sensitivity of my grandpa that he didn't always show, but it was important to me. So those things I want to carry, that, family, he would always have the videos and take video of us. And I always want to carry that, and always was excited to see me, and always was there. So I do think he's really reliable and loyal. And those are things that I want to carry.
It's awesome. Awesome. Excellent. 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 And whoever's listening, just remember the importance of loyalty. And I also feel like everything we talk about, like, even if you're not doing it, whatever it is right this second, like, you can always, I don't like the word pivot because it was used too much during COVID, but like, you always have your choice to be better or be different or try something that might look better on you, right?
Absolutely. That was a good question. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so
You want me to do a quote, or you want to
I'm
go
gonna
first?
do a quote. I have to pull it up.
All right, I have mine. You want me to-
Okay, go. You do yours. I'm
Okay.
like, I'm listening. I'm just,
No, that's fine. So
I
this
have it.
is, I think it probably goes for both of us, just because we talked about our background and just like different mindsets and going through each level. So this, I don't know the author, but it says, warriors are not born and they are not made. Warriors create themselves through trial and error, pain and suffering, and their ability to conquer their own faults. And I think I always, take accountability for different things, or even as I'm going through mindsets and talking about responsibility, my responsibility in healing or reflecting, not that I take on everyone else's responsibility, but that I do take ownership for what I need to keep changing and as I need to keep growing. And so the word warrior, I think, would be fitting for both of us, or perhaps sharing stories, right? A lot of us are warriors. We don't even realize it. By getting up every day, if you're having a hard week, or getting up or going through grief, or any of those different changes you're making, even if it doesn't show right away, but each time we make a decision to do better for ourselves, it ends up impacting other people. And so we're constantly, hopefully, evolving. I'm not the same person I used to be. There's still areas I'm growing in. But I believe that every person has the ability to shift and continue to be their best version of themselves, and that it doesn't always happen overnight. But I guess I think we're all warriors in some way.
I think that is awesome. Thank you so much. And I did find mine. One moment, please. Oh God, of course, now it went off of it. I am so not electronically, like, anytime, just please.
You're doing great, though. I feel like you're doing great, Carolyn.
All right, I'm just like, I have to flip back to it. I was on it and then I was not on it. Okay. Rivers do not drink their own water. Trees do not eat their own fruit. The sun does not shine on itself, and flowers do not spread their fragrance for themselves. Living for others is a rule of nature. We are all born to help each other. No matter how difficult it is, life is good when you are happy, but much better when others are happy because of you. And I think it's actually very fitting and ties into, of course, what you just shared, right?
Yeah,
and that was by Pope Francis.
Look at that. Well, I love it. So see, there's a lot of fitting with warrior, right? And knowing that it's good to be happy in other people as well, and that we all make an impact, not just on ourselves.
We do it right. We do it together. It's a team effort.
Yeah, it is.
And yeah, I think that's an awesome place to end. Capital T, capital E, capital A, capital M.
Yes, I love it. So so everyone, we thank you for joining in. As always, we will be posting this on our Unordinary Conversations with Amanda and Carolyn LinkedIn page. We do have one. I have to go on there because if people are messaging me, it's terrible but true. I have not been on, but we will be posting this on our pages as well. So certainly stay tuned for additional information, but now we'll be doing our weeklies. I think it'll be on Tuesdays that we'll post it, but we may sometimes record it. We always record it earlier, but we'll be keeping on Tuesday, but it might be at some point on Tuesday. I try to do it in the morning, but we'll see. It might be posted earlier, but just know that that's coming this week, and we are looking forward to hearing your feedback as always. So without further ado, Carolyn,
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, ready?
Ready?
Unordinary conversations with Amanda
and with Carolyn. And we adore you guys and each other.
We do. Have a great week, all.
Have an amazing week. Be a warrior.
Be a warrior.